Bet. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another one. And this time we have Logan. I don't even know what your nickname is yet. Newlan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just going Nick and Nate Diaz style for now. I don't really have a real nickname, I don't think. Logie Bear, but that's kind of outside of fighting.
I always want to say the Phenom, but then there's the Vitor, who had that from many years ago in MMA. But only reason I say Phenom is because he's new to the sport in comparison to some of my students, and he's made leaps and bounds improvement. And anyone who's felt his power is kind of like, what the fuck? It's phenomenal. You know what I mean? So that's where I stand with it. But
I like that name. Vitor is a gangster, so you can always pay homage to one of the OGs too.
Yep. So we're going to start with a little bittersweet. A lot of you guys already know Logan, but our dude is going to be leaving us soon. Not permanently, hopefully. But he's got an opportunity to go to Thailand, spend some time, and you get to go out there and spend time with the GOATs.
Yeah,
right?
That would be pretty cool.
So, I know how it happened, but how did all that stuff happen?
That's it's one of those, for me, cool parts of life is the way things kind of just fall into place sometimes when you're doing the right thing, you know? So Superbone and Phenom were out here for their seminars. Frankie knows, obviously, but a gym kind of ended up ghosting them the day before a seminar, and you just had happened to reach out to them 40 minutes after it had happened, I believe. And they were like, yeah, we will come do a seminar at your gym if you can just have X amount of dollars. So we had 24 hours, ended up getting a really good turnout. I think it was 65 people or something.
Yeah, we ended up making money on the deal. And the deal, how it happened was I reached out to Superbond months before they were here. And he told me, unfortunately, there's just no spots open. He can't do a seminar with us.
Right.
And I said, okay, then my guys will just attend to the one closest to us, which was in LA. So we never even talked about price. And then randomly on a Thursday or Friday, I think it was a Thursday, I got a text or a DM from Superbond. And for me, that's it'd be
you noticed that.
I'm like, because he's like, hello? I was like, hello? And he's like, hey, we have the seminar supposed to take place in LA, but it canceled last minute. Could you host it? Right. So he had hit me up. I was like, hold on. And then I called you guys. I called a couple of my boys.
Some of them.
Some were pretty enthusiastic, and others weren't I don't know if we could pull this off financially, blah, blah, blah. But it's Superbond. Hell yeah, we can.
Well, you were saying if we weren't gonna get to that number, you would pitch X amount of dollars. We don't need to disclose the amount. And I said I'll throw X amount of dollars as well, just because it's a once in a lifetime thing kind of.
Yeah, 100%. I was in a position to almost do this when Buakaw came many, many, many years ago, when I was on the other side of the couch, when I was the student. And financially I couldn't do it, so it's something I kind of always regretted and always wanted to do. So to have the opportunity, not just for myself to learn, but for my students to kind of get something that I didn't get to have, was super cool. So we ended up making it happen, and at the end of the seminar, when everything was done, I remember Pat came up and he's like, Frank, you're so lucky. I said, why? He said, because Bond replies to nobody. He doesn't contact anyone. He doesn't deal with social media. He's not a fan of that stuff. He's like, you're the first person he's ever gone out of and reached out to, right?
Right, yeah.
And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, crazy. Don't know why. He's like, but he told me we're sitting there trying to figure things out. And he's like, well, one guy reached out to me before. Should I reach out to him? And he's like, yeah, dude, reach out to him. So they reached out. We made it happen. Had an awesome turnout. And I remember I had to pick him up from LA, ass crack early. So I was like, man, I need a carpooling, blah, blah, blah. I hit up, some people. And first person to say yes and jump at the opportunity to go out there with me was you.
Yeah, I wanted to get as much FaceTime with them as I could. Just because you don't get opportunities like that with people that are if you're here and you're an American and let's say basketball is your sport, if you ask any basketball player, hey, will you go pick up LeBron James from the airport, drive him back down? You're going to be in the car with him for like 2 hours. Then you're going to hang out with him at the gym until the seminar starts, take his seminar, and then you'll be around and figure everything out. I didn't realize I was going to drive them back up, but I was down to do it, which was, again, just more time to get to hang out with them and talk to them and pick their brains as people that I hold in really high regard.
Yeah, you respect and admire.
Yeah,
right. Like
1,000%.
I try to say this for people, but in my opinion, right, like for comparisons for us here in the States, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Buakaw, in my opinion, is the Michael Jordan of international Muay Thai and kickboxing, and his protege is Superbon. So this is like Michael Jordan coaching Kobe, and then you get to go hang out with Kobe all damn day.
Yeah.
Right? Like that would just be amazing. So it was such an awesome thing to have, and it was so fun to watch you guys, like your reactions to being in the same room, meeting them, get to fangirl, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just like the smiles on these guys' faces was like this big. You know what I mean? If I find the video of it, I'll insert it here, but hilarious. Just super cool.
Yeah, the comments on that video were all like, I don't think I've ever seen him smile like that before.
Yeah.
It was, but that's like, that's what you dream about in these kind of sports. You know what I mean? It's who you get to meet and the things that like it takes you and the experiences that you have that make this sport so dope. And with our sport, I think it's cool because a lot of the athletes at the top of the game, and a lot of them probably because they're Thai, they're just so humble and they're so like, we're just regular people too. You know what I mean? They act very much that way, where Western athletes, a lot of times it's like, oh, well, who are you? Like even at like very low levels, you know what I mean?
100%.
And then you have, in my opinion, the best striker on the planet in Superbon. And
well, it's not an opinion, bro. That's a fact. He's literally the pound for pound greatest kickboxer right now. You could argue with it, but take the greatest ones out there that people
and you throw him in just
regard.
a stand-up fight with any athlete his weight, have fun. Because if you don't know how to use your legs, you don't. That's why I say he's the best striker. I'm not saying just kickboxer. If it's a stand-up sports in general at his weight, he is the best. Because if you come lacking,
he's got it.
Yeah,
no, he is. And the best part is sometimes they say don't meet your heroes because they may let you down, right? Mm-hmm. This guy exceeded every expectation I could have ever had, and some, and pet. Like we still have a conversation. I was just chatting with him yesterday, like sending videos back and forth. Like who the hell would you think would like? That's so awesome to be able to do. They came here. They respected the gym, the fighters. Like, wow, your student's very good, Frank. Like, good coaching. Like, that's rad to hear. Like, every guy wants to know that they're doing a good job. Right. So, it was super cool. And since they were here, I remember after the seminar, we sparred. After we sparred, went in the office. Mm-hmm. You, me, Bon, Pet, and I think maybe Noi were in there. And Super Bon said, Frank, come Thailand. You come me, like, you can stay. I'll take care of it. I was like, bro, if I could go, you bet your ass I would go. But I have a business to run. I've, kind of COVID fucked up, the business, so I got to, work, But I said, my students would love to go, and I think they should go, at least 2 of them, right? Well, there's 3, but obviously only 2 of the 3 would go. And out of those 2, 1 is going, you.
Right.
So now you have this opportunity to go, not just train with the best dudes, but probably one of the most beautiful places that they're training at.
Yeah,
it's like
Krabi, Thailand.
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be. I tell everybody, it's like. It wouldn't be a vacation to you, but it will be to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be doing things that's like it's hard. It's you training, in Thailand is not. It's completely different, and as like a foreigner, you have to kind of prove to your trainers out there that you're even worth training. You know what I mean? Like real training, not, Yeah,
here's a tire, bounce on it, do
some
jump
rope.
rope.
I don't want to be stuck doing that because I can do that here. But if I can go and, show I can hold my own water and everything, I think that'll be cool. But that's going to take a lot of work, So most people, I'm like, it'll be like I'm not going on vacation for a year. I'm not going like just to go kick it.
No, you're better in your craft.
I am just gonna go kick it, but
Yeah, but you're also becoming a better martial artist. You're becoming a better striker, a better fighter. You know what I mean?
yeah, I tell people too, it's like it's something that's gonna make me a better man down the line in my life, just in general. Like knowing that you attempted things is good for you. Like knowing that, like, okay, like I gave myself the honest shot. I didn't just, oh well, that looks really dope, but I don't want to take the risk, or be that guy. Like I could never be the guy sitting on a bar stool being like, if I would have just tried out, man, because that sounds like hell to me.
What ifs kill people?
Yeah,
and they really mess with people, and that's one reason why I even started fighting in the first place.
yeah,
Right? I'm a shy introvert, like super reserved. I don't like attention. Right? In this aspect of my life, but when it came to learning fighting, I was still that guy until I actually fought. Then you get to this point where it's like, okay, I want the world to come watch me rule this kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Which is the complete opposite of who I am on a day-to-day basis. So
yeah,
it's kind of a trip, but I loved every second of it.
yeah,
And it's cool to see that you're going to get to do that because you've already fought a few times.
yeah, man.
Right? And you've had some bullshit robberies, right?
Yeah,
You had a close fight.
yeah.
And then you've had your share of wins and your easy ones too. Training for those things, was there a specific training camp that you enjoyed over the other, or was there a specific fight that you enjoyed over the others, win or lose?
My fight with Gabriel was probably what I would say I had the best time in. It was the hardest fight as well. Like just as far as the pace, the damage that was taken and I think given out as well. It was the most, I think, back and forth fight, and it was also composed. It wasn't like two people just running at each other and swinging, which I think, not to dig at anyone, but that happens a lot at the amateur level. Like you just see like a bull rush. It's like watching little kids play soccer, where the whole field is just a clump of kids.
Yes.
It kind of looks like that sometimes, and I felt like he and I were pretty composed, and we both hit each other really hard in the first round. So that makes you be like, all right, I know you're capable of hurting me, so I have to be that much more aware, So it felt very set up. That camp kind of sucked for me though. I got, which I've never talked about, I got staph on my face like 2 weeks out. So I did 2 rounds of antibiotics because the first thing they gave me some like ointment that didn't do anything. I felt like death. And then they gave me some crazy like horse pills. But that kind of threw my weight cutting off and everything. But it was a really good fight. My last camp I had was the best though, because I was able to just train, get into really good shape. It was the first time I ever cut weight. That was really enjoyable just to kind of see what at a professional level this would be like.
Yeah.
And that was fun, but it's all about the experience,
Yeah. And when he says Gabriel, I mean it's Gabriel Silva, Anderson Silva's kid.
Yeah. That was a really fun fight.
That was a fun fight. It was a fun fight to watch because it was a lot of martial arts. It was a lot of feints, a lot of technical work on both sides. And at that time, you've been training, I think, 14 months, 15 months?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty wild.
Yeah, that was the first fight, too, that I think taught me a lot as far as, like, where your head is going into a fight, and how you view your opponent and the task at hand, kind of. Because I felt at times in that fight I was fighting not to lose rather than to win sometimes.
Yeah.
Like being like, okay, well, he was like throwing jabs at one point and they were barely touching, and instead of me countering, I was like, okay, well, like just wait it out, and I could just have thrown right around them or thrown right after them,
Mm-hmm.
But I was just a little overly cautious, but I had to learn that, Yeah. So that was a fun fight, though.
Learning experiences are a big one, and that's why fighting is important.
Yeah.
Right? Sparring is one thing, hard sparring is one thing, but fighting when the other guy doesn't give two shits about you and is actually trying to physically hurt you,
yeah, it's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Training partners will always try to hit hard and go hard and give you a good experience, but there's always that, okay, let's not hurt each other
We're
here.
not
Let's
really
not
supposed
break
to hurt
this,
each other,
you know?
yeah.
So you pull off a little bit, and that extra little pull changes your cardio, changes the output, changes balance.
Right.
It changes a lot.
Yeah.
So those are some cool experiences for sure. Going to back to the Thailand thing, you're going to be gone for how long?
Well, I'm going to be hopefully able to be there for up to a year. What I'll have to do is run to the border every 90 days, leave the country for a day, re-enter, and get another 90-day stamp on my passport. So I'm hoping I can do about a year there. Obviously, things have to kind of go to plan as well. There's a lot of variables that go to that. But if I can stay out there for a year and train with kind of nothing else existing as far as my day-to-day life, then that would be the best. Part of going over there isn't like that I don't have the good training here or whatever, but it's just that it's so immersive there. It's the only thing I'll be doing. And I'm going to be able to get rid of all my bills and everything. So once I'm there, I have everything kind of just paid for, and all I have to do is show up to the gym, you know?
Yeah.
So
I try to tell people the same. It's, you get, especially here, there's some good gyms around, but like I hold myself to a standard of, you know, I'm very good at Thai boxing. And it's just different when you guys train here, you know, 45 minutes an hour, 4 or 5 times a week for the most of the guys, right? You're a little different. You train a few times a day, a couple hours, but over there, it's, you know, 4 to 6 hours a day, every day.
right,
It's not like, you know, a hobby. It's it's a job. You're working your ass off,
right.
you know?
Yeah, when Pet left, he and I ended up, Pet Phenom, he and I obviously became pretty good friends, or I would like to think so. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just bugging the shit out of him. But I would text him and be like, he would tell me, you know, hey, send me your training routine. I'm going to help you out. So I would kind of just broke down what I was doing. And I gave him what I was doing on like my best day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I'm feeling great, I'm hitting everything, you know? And he was like, oh, that's really good. Which is like how he always frames everything with a compliment and then tells you like, but he's like, that's a Thai warm up. And I remember being like, all right, bro, we're going to have to buckle down. Like this is going to be a lot different than you think. I'm sure I'm going to throw up quite a few times when I first get out there and acclimate to things, but I'm so excited.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm excited for you. It's a bittersweet. Like I said, we're starting with a bittersweet because I'm excited for him. He gets an opportunity that I'll be dead ass with. I'm jealous of. I want to do it too. But it's exciting, and I want to see the growth and the change, because when you come back, you bet your ass I'm going to move with you. I'm going to see how good you get.
It'll be fun.
So, yeah, I've been getting back into shape, down about, 25, 30 pounds now. So by the time you come back, I'll be down more, and I'll make sure I give you a run for your money.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
you're
excited.
the younger guy. So, excited, bummed because you're leaving, because obviously we're closer friends too than just, coach and student. But yeah, I'll see when you come back. So it'll be fun. So for any of you guys who want to train and get better before he leaves, get your ass to the gym, man. Stop being lazy. Let's see. Big fights coming up that you're looking forward to?
International Fight Week's coming up, and I was looking at tickets in Vegas for it, but it's like nosebleeds, like $400.
Gross.
And I can't go. I'm allergic to Vegas. Every time I go there, I spend way too much money. So,
Bro, I don't gamble, and when I go there, I spend money.
that's what I'm saying. I don't even want to talk about it. But the thing I'm really excited. Chidi Bang and Joe Kwani. He's with Saeksan Janjira out in Plano, Texas. He just got another fight in the UFC, so I'm excited for him to fight again. He's coming off of 2 first-round knockouts, one with a elbow in the clinch, one with the overhand right that he set up off of feigning. I got to train with him. He's a cool dude, a beast of a strike. I love anytime there's someone who's a striker in MMA. That's who I'm rooting for.
Bro,
so
you and me both.
But he's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so it's cool because he's confident with his striking. You know what I mean? He's like, take me down. I'm going to be okay. He showed me some cool tricks in the clinch. That's a gym out in Texas that I enjoy going to, so shout out to them. But I'm excited to see him fight. I'm excited for Canelo and Triple G, but I don't think it'll be the same as like the first two. I think things have changed a little bit, but
who do you think's gonna be more dominant in that fight?
Well, Gennady Golovkin didn't look like himself in the last fight, but Canelo's gonna have to deal with the fact that he's been gaining weight to fight heavier guys, and it's hard to strip your body of muscle. You know, Roy Jones Jr. did that, and he's, in my opinion, the most talented boxer of all time. And it was hard for him to make his adjustments back down. You know what I mean? Because you put on muscle like that, it's going to be difficult for it to go away. Your timing is going to be different at that weight class than it was at, you know what I mean? And you're looking at the most technical and most proficient boxers. That half a millisecond can make a huge difference. Do I think Canelo loses? No. I still think Gennady Golovkin's going to probably have a hard night, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think they're 1-1 personally.
Yeah, I do too.
So this fight, I'm interested because I think if Triple G watched Canelo's last fight to make the adjustments of being able to throw longer, right? Normally, what happens is guys throw at Canelo, their pace falls, and he picks up.
Right.
He wasn't able to do that last fight.
Right.
The other guy was just too big, too powerful, and kept Canelo on his back foot.
Yeah, and just use those meat and potatoes.
Yeah, like
that
so,
jab.
And also the mental piece of coming off a loss, coming off of something that you knew you were trying to press the gas pedal, but your fucking wheels are spinning in the mud.
Right.
You're just stuck. You wanted to do it, you just couldn't.
Which is the worst feeling ever.
Ugh.
Which I'm sure he doesn't. It's probably very, very infrequent that he feels that.
Correct. So now that
I
mental
feel that
state,
all the time, but he probably isn't really used to that.
But so now that mental state coming off of that, going into a fight like that, I'm interested to see how it goes. I think it's going to be a closer fight. I'm pretty excited for that one.
Yeah, well, and then you have Bud and Spence, which I don't know if that's been agreed to or not. They just say they're closing on a deal, but if that happens, I'm excited for it. Brandon Lee's got a fight coming up. I'm excited for it. Tatum Beltran's got a fight coming up at Staples Center or Crypto.com Center, whatever it is now. So if you need tickets for that, hit him up. He's on the Austin McBroom undercard, so hit up at Tatum Beltran or at the Butcher Beltran for tickets to his fight. That's going to be dope. He's a killer. He's someone that has come through here to train with Trevor and everyone, and has been a really cool dude. So got to support him. I'm the most excited about probably Jaron Ennis. He's probably my favorite current boxer. But that's why fighting's just the best. As an umbrella, fighting and combat sports are the best because there's no off season.
Yeah.
There's like, if you're really a fan of combat sports, there's so much you can watch. It's the best. So there's a lot to be excited about.
Izzy's fight's coming up.
Yeah, he's on that International Fight Week card that I was looking for tickets for.
Yeah.
Him and Jared Cannonier.
It's gonna be a good one. And then the biggest fight of them all that everyone's talking about, Fury and Paul.
Who?
Fury, the brother or step or cousin, who the fuck he is, versus the Paul brother. You can tell I was kidding because he's so excited about that.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, if you can make money.
Do you give Jake a chance in this fight?
I mean, I don't think Jake Paul is a good boxer, but I'm going to lay some facts out because I've had this conversation so many times with so many people. Jake Paul is a young kid with endless amounts of money who lives in LA, where he has access to trainers who will train him because he has unlimited amount of money. Let's not forget that.
Status and clout.
None of them are going to fucking hit that kid. So in sparring, when you see people cracking him, those are those people's paychecks. They're not going to just, I mean, he's having success, I'm sure, on his own to an extent, but those guys aren't, if they are pro boxers, which I don't think any of them are, they're not going to risk that paycheck, the easiest paycheck of their life, to hurt Jake in sparring.
Right.
And he's been doing it for what, like 4 or 5 years now? If you do anything for 4 or 5 years with the best training in the world and best instruction with nutrition and all those things, you should absolutely get better at it. So I think it's unfair at this point to continue to be like, he's an absolute trash can. He's not a pro boxer by any means. But I mean, he's got an overhand right. He's an athletic, big, strong kid. I don't know. I've never seen Tommy Fury fight. I don't watch any of those circus show shit.
I just saw him fight the last one, and bro, man, look, I'm old. I'm retired. I whatever, but I wasn't impressed at all. Not even a little. I was watching this going, yo, Tyson Fury, in my opinion, is probably one of the pound for pound kings.
Yeah.
Tyson's a fucking legend.
Absolutely.
But Tommy is not. You carry that last name,
Yeah.
but you're not him, like,
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
So I think this fight, I really, if I was going to bet money, I'm betting on Jake.
Yeah, well, it's so hard. Imagine being Tommy Fury, like your brother is, there's 7 billion people on the planet, your brother's the baddest man in the planet. There's 7 billion people in the world. No one is Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Tommy Fury is, no one's going to be Tyson Fury, much less Tommy. You know what I mean? It's just, that's like such a hard comparison to live up to, but
that's how they market the fight.
yeah,
Right?
but
It's
that's
like,
such,
here's blah, 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 blah. Like, I understand the marketing aspect, but it's such an unrealistic expectation to have to hold.
well, as long as what scares me is the writing of the wall of when and if Jake Paul beats Tommy. If he even looks in Tyson Fury's direction, I would pay to watch that. I would.
You would pay to watch a massacre.
Half of boxing is max executions. Half of it. If you watch boxing as someone's getting pushed up the rankings, executions being planned.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay,
for sure.
you're gonna go fight this guy. You're
0-7, and he's 45-0.
Yeah, you're gonna go in there. You're like, what in the actual? That's the best thing about Thai boxing. You're like, how many losses do you have? 47. You're like, okay, cool.
How many wins do you have? 230.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
They don't even ask you what your record is. How many fights do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, not wins. How many fights do you have? How many times have you had the balls to get in there, go do your thing, and fight? That's
Yeah.
what they care about. So you don't see people fighting tomato cans because who cares? What's the point of that?
Yeah.
They're like, go fight the best guy you can, and you're going to get better.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do it again in a week anyways. Because we're
Literally.
savages.
Yeah. I'm excited. We got a lot of things coming up. I've already asked you this, but he let me down. He still hasn't seen Maverick.
No, not gonna.
Yes, he is. I'm gonna take him to see it. All right, so he doesn't want to go see Maverick. He says I have to tranquilize him to go see it, or when Chelsea fixes my hand and my forearm, why not just hold pads for you for a week?
Now we're getting there. We're getting closer.
This is how much I love this fucking movie. It's so good. If you guys haven't seen me and Ginger's review of it, see the video. It's in here somewhere. And yeah, literally the greatest. Okay, talk fights, talk Thailand. You leaving? And what else is going on in the world of Logan? Aside from you getting to break all the rules between men and women.
Not a lot, really. I'm in such a weird limbo period with, like, wanting to leave, really wanting to leave, it being super hard, being in kind of like a waiting period as well with kind of the way my situation is right now, where it's like, okay, I might be leaving this date, but it may be 2 months later than that, or it may be 2 months later than that. You know what I mean? That's been kind of tough. But outside of that, I've just been trying to enjoy my time in California while I can. Obviously, got to train as much as I can. Trying to avoid all the craziness of the world today by just kind of doing my own thing. I go to the gym, the beach, and my house to play with my cat and fucking chill. You won't catch me out at a bar. You won't catch me out anywhere.
Does that hurt dating life?
Oh, yeah. But
I was like, but does it really? Because you have apps, right? So you do the dating app thing.
yeah,
I've
I do
never
the
done that in
dating
my
app
life,
thing.
but I'm also a lot older.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah. It's so funny because as a kid, we all grew up like, this guy's on eHarmony. You know what I mean? And now we're all like Hinge, Bumble, Tinder.
Which do you prefer?
I like Hinge the most. I think guys get the best shot on Hinge. Dude, I'm gonna put everybody on some game right now. Okay, women might not throw you a like on Bumble because they don't think you like them, right? But women are just like men. They have egos too. If you shoot them a like, and they see that you like them, oh well, now he likes me. They're gonna look a little bit closer. Where on Bumble they might just be like, no, he's ugly. Well, now that ugly guy shoots you a like, you're like, okay, well, this guy likes me. You want to know what the type of people who like you are. You're going to at least get a little bit longer, like, look at your profile from them. Mm-hmm. So I would say if you're a man, go with Hinge. You also get to see your likes right away. Or I don't know how exactly it works.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, better. And I think girls are a little bit more willing to be on Hinge. I think each one of them, like, slowly gets a better reputation. Tinder was like, oh, you're on Tinder. Bumble was like, girls get to message you first. And now Hinge, I think, is kind of in
level playing field.
Yeah.
Well, level for some. When I say this stuff, I laugh because he's one of very few people who gets to break the rules and the dynamic between men and women because he's gorgeous. So, bro, I have multiple friends, and I'm not going to say who they are because I fucking feel bad. But these dudes have had apps, and I've seen them swipe a million things, like a million things, and not one person's talked to them. It's kind of fucked up.
That is sad.
You don't even have it activated because you had been in a relationship, and then you went and turned it on. Because I remember a story. You turned it on where I don't know where the hell you were, but you turned it on. You had like 80 notifications. That's ridiculous.
I think that was probably just because it was off for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Because also, you don't get to choose who's sending you those likes always, you know?
No, I get that. Every girl's going to shoot their shot. I get it. Some people need to know their role, guys and girls included. Yeah, some of my dudes that I have that I coach and work with, these boys shoot for the moon. Like, I want to talk to that chick. I was like, no, I don't think any girl is outside of any league for any guy. I don't believe that. But I do believe there are girls you're ready to talk to and not ready to talk to based on experience and their experience.
Right.
So you need to learn game and all those kinds of things. And I've had a couple buddies that were like, yo, man, I want to talk to this chick. And I was like, but like, are we looking in the mirror? Like, my dude. Like, and not just a physical, but you as a person, like, the depth, where you are in your life, your ability to be financially responsible and offer safety and be a dominant alpha or, higher earning male, right? Which most women are going to want.
Yeah.
Right? Especially of that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should be, down here and you're like way up there.
I think for me, like what helped me a lot as someone in like the dating scene was I had low self-esteem as a kid. I don't think any girls where I grew up as like a 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, the girls that I was into never thought I was cute because I grew up in like an area that's all surfers and like having like blonde hair. Until Twilight came out, nobody even fucking gave me a second look.
Yeah, but then
Twilight put a little bit of steam behind me. But what helped me was no one was talking to me, so all I was doing was listening. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, this girl likes this girl doesn't like this. She likes this guy, but he has no clue what's going on, and he's not into her, but she's actually really cool. I just kind of like would sit back and watch people because I didn't feel like I didn't even think I was in the game. And then the only other way I would kind of find like I could get attention was be funny. So like learn to make people laugh and listen to chicks, you'll get a lot further than you think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But
it's
also,
not that hard.
also, boys, this is just me giving you some game too. Don't pretend to be their fucking sissy ass best friend.
Don't do that.
And sit in a friend zone and not just be honest. Be clear with your intention. Hey, look, no expectation. I'm not expecting you to fucking have sex with me or blow me at the end of this date. But I'm not going on this date to be your gay best friend.
Right.
I'm going on this date to get to know you better than I know you now. Right? So let's just get to know each other more and more and more, because I am interested in courting you or whatever the case may be. And I think if you do that up front, you kind of set the stage. That way this girl, A, knows she's not going to get to take advantage of you, because there are girls that do that.
Right.
Right?
100%.
And they're not feeling like, what do you want? Or is this like are you doing this to get this and that? You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm trying to genuinely get to know you.
Right.
To see if I want to even spend time and or pursue that, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes a girl, and guy too, the guys and girls, looks get you to the table, but who you are as a person gets you to stay, right? So I think it's important, guys, kind of be a little more upfront and be accepting and willing to take an L up front, because it saves them a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
Right? No, I'm just not interested in you in like that. Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, fine, that's cool. Like, that's
going and pretending.
That's so much better for everyone too. I just would way rather get curved immediately than I think she might like me, but I don't think so, but I think so. I just don't like that. I want to know where I'm at. Like, being intentional is a turn on for me. I love when girls shoot their shot, just because as a man now it's like scary to do it. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it's like you can shoot your shot. I'm not saying don't be like a man. You have to still be a man. You have to still like be willing. If you see what you like and they're there, you got to make your move. But you have to be so much more like super, super careful nowadays. Like going up to someone and putting your hand on their like upper bicep, I won't even do that until I know like this girl's vibing with me a little bit. I use like my signature move is the squint test. I'll just look at a girl and then squint at them, and if they squint back, I'll just approach them. And then they'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'll be like, "Why are you making faces at me?" They'll be like, "You made a face at me," and then you're good. But if they squint back, you at least have their attention.
That's awesome.
Just stare them in the face. Once you have their attention, give them a squint. If they like look at you like they smelt shit, go over there. You're on. It sounds weird, but it's gonna work. I tell you.
Boys, try it and comment below. Let me know if that shit worked.
But like, don't like squint at them like crazy. Just like give them a little like squint, like a little pretty squint, like you're on the cover of a magazine and there's some sun in your eyes. Oh, don't like dog them.
That is fantastic. Yes, I'm excited to see this shit. This is gonna be great.
I haven't told anyone about that squint test except for one other person, and that was for a casting for Fuckboy Island.
Wow. Imagine
being hit up on Instagram, being told that you look like the perfect candidate for Fuckboy Island.
Well, it's anytime a guy's attractive and post pictures themselves, automatically people think fuckboy. Girls can do it all day long, and it's them, yay, let's go, proud of myself.
That was the worst. I get hit up by someone, they're like, "You want to be on a TV show?" And I don't really entertain that stuff to begin with. And then I went to the person's profile, and they had like credentials, So I was like, okay, well, let's just see what this is. And then they told me what it was, and I was like, you're kidding, right? Like, I have to go to my mom and be like, hey, like, I can't come help, or I can't go see you guys for X amount of time because I'm going to be on Fuckboy Island.
Yeah, no.
They would put me out to pasture. They'd be like, dude, you're not our son anymore. We don't even know you.
Yeah.
Not really. They're pretty dope and accepting of everything, clearly. But I just couldn't do it. But I thought that was interesting that someone saw my Instagram and was like, you're a fuckboy. Yeah. Want to be on TV for it? Because you're like the pinnacle of it, apparently. So that was cool.
And little did I know you're actually educated, have feelings, right? Intuitive, right? Which is what he was talking about earlier, being intuitive. Guys, being intuitive, listening, shutting the fuck up and listening is such a huge part of the opposite gender. And I think guys tend to forget that.
Yeah, you gotta like be able to. I'm not saying listen to their issues with other dudes and all those kind of things. Like, you have to shut that down immediately, because that kind of shows your intentions a little bit. But be able to, like, pay attention to details. If you know someone's into something and, like, you can relate to it, bring that up. Like, if you're on Hinge and a girl's profile has a bunch of pictures of her, some of them look super hot, some of them look pretty, and then they have something about their hobby or personality, like that picture.
Yeah, see? Game on game.
You gotta, like, we have to pay attention. Like, you can't just not pay any attention. I wouldn't like that. I'm a dude and I don't like that. I want you to pay attention to me. I want you to know what I like. If I don't like something, or I don't want to be around something, I don't want that.
Men and women are very, very, very much alike.
Yeah, we just think.
But we're also different, which is totally fine. That's the best part about us, is that we're different. We're like yin and yang, right? So we all want time, attention, resources, and sex. Those are the top things that people want in a relationship, right? Male and female, they're laid out different. Mm-hmm. Most women, it's time, attention, resources, sex is at the bottom. And guys, it's sex, time, attention, resources. Right. So yes, we do want the time, we want the attention, we love those things. It's just intimacy is also a huge factor. But I think some people, especially girls, take it the wrong way. You just want sex. No, it's not that. What you have to understand is, how many people do you talk to and say hello to a day? Right. How many people walk by, friends, whatever, you give a hug to a day, you shake hands with a day, right? You communicate with blah, blah, blah. How many of those people are you intimate with? It's only your partner. Right. So it's one thing you get to share with that person that differentiates you from everyone else and helps, at least for me too, differentiate me than all the other guys in your life. Right. So it makes me more secure. Yeah. I feel better. Right. And there's more than one person in this relationship, so you got to take both. And some people won't admit it or say it because they're less of a man if they say they need the attention or want to feel better. Right. That's bullshit.
Not me. Hold me like a baby.
Well, dude, you got to fight.
Love on me.
I'm a dude, right? And I'm not a bitch sport, right? I'm pretty blunt. I think I'm a guy's guy for most part. But I'm busy fighting every day. I fight not literally. I mean, actually, literally, I train fighting and I'm getting hit all the time. But I'm also fighting the world. I'm fighting to run a business. I'm doing all these things. So sometimes at the end of the day, I don't want to fucking come home and be combative and be in a fight with the person that I'm with.
You want peace.
I want peace, but I want to be the baby now. Fuck. Yeah. I had to be a man all fucking day. I want to be taken care of too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think there's nothing wrong with asking that from your partner.
No, I think that's like, for me, that's what, I'm a mama's boy, so maybe that's why I put so much kind of like weight behind that, but you got to be nurturing. Yeah. Like, you got to see a pimple on my face and try to pop it type of shit.
That's funny because I hate being picked at.
I
love the nurturing piece, but don't pick me.
Yeah, I don't like the picking. I actually, like, kind of gets to me, but I want to know that you want to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to know that you're like, okay, you don't look so good right now, or you're not okay, because I'm going to look out for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're in some, like, hey, if you're puking and you're whatever, I'll take care of you. You know what I mean? That doesn't bug me. Mm-hmm. But I need to know I'm going to get that back from you, because I'll go to war for you. But if you won't do this, like, what's going on here? Because for me, in my own head, like, the way I look at it, like, my family at some point in my life, I'm trying to pay for their life with my bones. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to put myself ahead, and I think men do this in general. That's why you see 80-year-old men and an 80-year-old woman, and the man can barely walk and the woman's fine because he busted his ass his whole life, right? I'm trying to do that as well, but I'm also literally physically fighting for it, you know? So I want to know that, like, in the terms of life, you're willing to put up that fight too, you know what I mean? And give me that.
It's what the nurturing represents. It's not necessarily nurturing with just to nurture, but if I go to work, like, for me personally, I work about 16 plus hours a day, right? So if I'm with someone and their only job or only duty to the family, to our little household, is to clean or have dinner, right? It's not that the dinner and cleaning is what I want from you, right? But it's how you show you provide and take care of me. If I go to work and I do all these things to provide and give money, and I come home and these are the only things that are asked of you, that sounds like a fair exchange to me. Yeah. Right? It's not about a woman being in the kitchen. It's not about any of those things. It's just, hey, I'd rather You stay home, not work and raise the family.
Right.
So this, I know that's a job too, right? So you get to do that, which is awesome, right? Because I'm pretty sure most people would rather do that than go roofing in 9,000 degree weather,
Right.
or go fight a guy in a ring, you know what I mean? Or go do some of the things it takes to make some higher income, right? So it's I think a lot of what the nurturing represents. I think it shows that you care and you're doing your part too.
Yeah, and it can come from, I do think 1,000% it can come from either end, because I grew up in a household where my mom was the breadwinner. Like,
Yeah.
But my stepdad took care of her, our house, her businesses, books. Like, he took care of everything in such a way that my mom could be a better breadwinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So our gender roles at my house were a little bit flipped, but it was, my parents would never in a million years be like,
But it was just flipped financially. He was still the man.
oh, dude. Yeah. My stepdad's like Superman. He's like the best dude in the world. My mom just brought in the money, but my mom would never in a million years make my stepdad feel any type of way, because my stepdad also left like a 6-figure income to be with my mom and was like, you do all of these things extremely well. You're business-wise, all those things, amazing. The back end of business, you have to hire someone for. I'll take over that and get it so much better than anyone else ever has, that everything you're doing on the front end will become so easy for you. You'll make, and my mom's like income went up exponentially because of him. But he also takes care of everything. Like, we have a 1,000-acre ranch and he runs it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a badass. But I got to grow up and be like, okay, you can be the man of the house and be taking care of the house and taking care of your family. You know what I mean? It's just, it's your heart behind things and how you do things that matter. Like you said, it's like, you don't have to, at least in my world, hopefully I can find someone else that views these things the same way. But if I'm not fulfilling one thing or you're not fulfilling one thing, that's okay. Hopefully I fill the crack for you and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if I'm filling that crack for you, I'm not going to make you feel less than for it, because you're not supposed to do everything I can do and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't get so lost in like the modern woke of what's going on. Is like, it's dope to be in a healthy relationship with gender roles.
Right.
That's dope. Like,
Right. I agree.
you're my queen, I'm your king. This is what happens. This is how we behave. We hold each other to the same level, and we hold each other equal. But this is where we differ, and
Right.
that's what makes this a kingdom. Because
Right.
we have all of the components. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we've got it all. I just can't imagine. And I grew up seeing that. You know, so that's my reality and that's my perception. But
Bro, bet. I agree with you. I've done countless studies. I've read countless things, and I've looked at all of, things and stats I could look at from the Census Bureau or everywhere else
right,
to validate all these things. And statistically, they're all right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's the kind of way I want to grow up and live the rest of my life. And I'm not going to settle with anything or anyone until I reach the goals I want and
Right.
financially in a place to provide, so that the person I choose to be with doesn't have to work, because I don't want that financial stress. I know what it did to my first marriage. I know what it does to people in relationships. Money's a pressure. It's a constant thing.
right.
And if you can help take some of those things away, you can make your life a lot more enjoyable and better.
Definitely.
Because relationships are hard enough as they are. They are work. It is,
Yeah.
There are easy days and there's hard days. So why add any more fuel to the fire when
Yeah.
you can change that? So that's my outlook on it. But you guys got dating tips too. Shit, bet you didn't think you were gonna get that over here. What was it I was gonna ask you about? If you were going to give up, would you give up hairstyle? Right? Like that kind of thing? Or would you give up fashion? Like your clothes? Like, let's say I'm a big ass bald. You don't get to style your hair and look pretty, but you get dope fashion. Or you can go to Walmart, wherever, and buy your clothes, but you can style your hair however you want.
I think I'd pick clothes for myself personally. because I've seen some like. My thing is, I don't even mean that as like, oh, because then I'm gonna be able to go. I mean, I do wear certain things that are like pretty bougie, but for the most part, I'm in gym clothes every day. You know what I mean? But like, this sounds so ridiculous, and it's not a dig at anyone. I'm just very particular about myself. I couldn't be in like long basketball shorts and working out. I don't know why. I just couldn't do it. I think it's like a football thing. You look good, you feel good, you play good. You know what I mean? So even when I was a little kid, my mom always tells this story like she would lay out my clothes and I'd be like, I'm not wearing that.
Yeah.
Not because I think I have the best fashion in the world, because I for sure don't, but I just only wear the stuff I like. Like I'll wear really nice designer jeans with a t-shirt that's like a $12 shirt that I got. You know what I mean? Just because it's like I like to have this nice and that I don't care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just particular to me. I wore Dickie cutoffs for like all of high school. Just because I was like, these are cool. I look like fucking Tom Sawyer, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so I also have like head tattoos, and like I would just figure it out, you know?
Yeah. Well, I ask just because I'm like, I always see those things, right? And you're big on fashion for sure, you know, with glasses or whatever it is. It's always, you know, designer stuff. Right. But I think that also comes from because like you not growing up with those things, when you get to a position to have those things, it's like I want them. Right. Like the Mercedes, it's more of a status thing. I could buy a faster car. Right. But I like the status. I like how I feel when I get in it. I like all the how well it's built. Everything is firm. It's nice. It dry. It does all the things I want and does them very well. Right. Versus the American cars I've had, they're nice, but they're not built like that car. You know what I mean? So, like, and I asked about that because I wasn't able to have a lot of that stuff. So growing up, it's just I never thought about that stuff. To me, it's just how you wear it. Right. Like if I take all the designer shit and I throw it on some people I know, they look like the people they are. Like you're a fucking dork. Like I don't care what you wear. Right. It's who you are. Like I guarantee you, if I gave you a pair of Walmart shorts and a T-shirt, you'd make it look dope.
Yeah, but I had to do that for a long time, you know.
Yeah, same.
So
like I walked to I went with Colin the other day to Walmart to grab an end table, and we're walking around. We walked by one of the aisles, and there's like clothing rack right on the end, and I saw these shorts and I was like, oh, my sister's right there, grab them, and we kept walking. $6. And he's like, a simple man, huh? I'm like, what you mean? He's like, you're gonna wear shorts from Walmart? I was like, bro, I was like, yeah, I don't care. Because for me, like, you have designer jeans, right? For me, I'm a sneakerhead, so I could wear a pair of, you know, I don't know, $800,000 pair of shoes that I would never pay that much for. I got gifted, and I have shoe brokers that take care of me. Shout out to my boy Yasha, good looking, and Newlan, you're my boy. So, but I have these shoes that are worth, and those make me feel good. When I have a nice pair of shoes on, fresh pair of socks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Like I feel good. So I could wear the $6 shorts, my, you know,
custom
big and tall
shirts usually.
My gym shirt, which is I wear like mostly MMT stuff, you know, with whatever shorts, but a nice pair of shoes. Right. Like I have more shoes than most people know what to do with. So again, for me, it's my shoes. For you, it's your clothes. For some people, it's like they would never let their hair go like a crazy, like, you know. I'm pretty big on upkeep anyway. Like I still go to a barber twice a week. I mean, once every 2 weeks. Like
well, all the clothes I wear, I'm like, I mean, everyone knows I wear like Ruka everything, but I also get a good, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, discounts and things like that.
Yeah, and
you're in the field you're in, and with fighting, guess what, guys? There's perks to everything that we do. And perks of fighting is when you go train at some gyms and they're sponsored or so on and so forth, we get discounts on certain things. So,
hey, but you pay for that shit.
Yeah, literally in blood.
Yeah. So, you know, but people will be like, you wear that nonstop, or do they sponsor you? I'm like, no, I just think they have cool clothes, and if I can get them for a discount, that's all I'm gonna wear then, because I can.
But they're also comfortable,
and they're really good for training.
They look good. They're functional.
Right.
And there's discounts, so why not?
But I mean, like with that, like we just ordered clothes from them not too long ago, right? And it came in, but all of that I bought was like everything I have in my house for the most part. I have such a ridiculous volume of clothing, but it's mainly workout clothes, And the amount of laundry I do in a day is ungodly, from doing 2 workouts, that's 2 outfits, plus whatever clothes I'm wearing before that workout and after the workout. It's just, like, clothes are pretty important to me, I think.
Yeah. No, that's good. I was just curious because, again, you
just got to be smart with what you buy that is expensive, in my opinion. Because, like, okay, I'll buy a pair of Alexander McQueen jeans. They're $500.
See, I don't even know what I've never even heard of that guy until he said that.
But you buy those jeans, they're going to last you forever. I'm not going to go buy a, like, YSL white tee that is, I'm for sure going to get, like, pizza sauce on it or something. and it's $490 and it's a white t-shirt that's, like, translucent and my dark ass nipples are showing through the shirt. You know what I mean? That's not a good look.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. That doesn't, like, sunglasses. I'm going to have them forever. Leather goods. Like, I'll buy Italian shoes, or, like, those things I'll splurge on. A suit I'll splurge on. But you'll never catch me buying, like, okay, not never, but it's very rare I'll buy, like, a designer t-shirt. I bought one to go to, like, a boxing match, because if you're going to be on the floor seat of a boxing arena, you got to be looking good. You
want to be.
But yeah, I've always wanted to ask you this. If you had to give up cars, horsepower, for you, you're already so uncomfortable because he knows no matter what I say after this, he's pretty much pooched. You'd have to give up cars or social media completely. What would you give up? But it's so hard because it's, like, for your business, right? Social media.
I'd give up social media in a heartbeat.
And just watch it, you'd be like, whatever.
I wouldn't give a fuck. To be completely honest with you, I hate social media. I hate what it's done to people.
For you, it's just the necessity.
For me, it's a virtual business card.
Right.
Like, so, everyone knows, right? Born and raised a certain way, this is how you are. And then you start doing research, and then you become your own person, and you develop your own opinions and views and certain things. So, I'm Republican. It's no big deal. I don't hate anyone because of it. I could give a fuck. I'm maybe close to the middle, right? I think there's good and bad on both sides, and I think they're smart. I think they're smart. I think they're dumb. I think they're dumb. I think there's a lot of just too much back and forth, my opinion. But I posted a picture that I said, I'm a patriot. It's a picture. No video, nothing. It was a picture that said, I'm a patriot.
Mm-hmm.
No calls to violence, nothing. They deleted my Facebook and my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
Not like put me in Facebook jail. They deleted my profiles. I've appealed them. I tried to get them back. Nope. There's years and years and years of pictures and things from both my daughters that I'll never get back.
That you think you never have to save elsewhere because it's there.
Correct. So I lost all that stuff, and I never started a personal Instagram back up because I don't care. I still have my business one. But for me, it's a virtual business card, right? If I need to validate, like, I've had people hit me up, like, oh, hey, I'm interested. I was like, okay, great. Da-da-da-da. I'll just check out my Instagram. You'll know who I am. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I just look so you're like a real person. Like, what the fuck? Me telling them a real person isn't enough. But I have to validate it by saying, go to my Instagram to say that that's who I really am. Right. It's pretty fucking wild. So I think people forget what it's like to talk to people, look them in the eye, listen, understand, have a conversation. I think we lose a lot. I think a lot of people, too, dust off all the trash, post only the good, and then you have a lot of false expectations of what real life is like.
Yeah.
And you have all these things now of depression and anxiety and all these things. Mental health is a term I fucking hate to, like, the death of me, because I don't think it's as big or prevalent as people make it sound. I do think people have mental health issues, but I think it's a very small group, like a small group. I think the bucket of what we all consider mental health now, like issues-wise, is bullshit. I think it's a life experience.
Yeah.
I don't think life is meant to be, fun and exciting and happy all the time. I think people are in their feelings too much. And I think a lot of that derives from social media, because you see happy, you see perfect. I want to do that. Oh my God, look, all they do is vacation. No, they don't. You didn't see the guy getting up at 3 a.m, hating his fucking life, working his ass off, saving money, dealing with his stresses, fighting with his wife, all these things, to then go have the spoils of all that hard work. Right. You just see the outcome. Right. People see you in a fight. Oh man, great job, Logan. Yeah, it must be nice. Woo, woo, woo. You got a bar, you bought this. No, bitch.
Yeah.
You were the one working, sacrificing time, not hanging out with friends, not eating, not doing all those things, having a miserable weight, all this other bullshit, right? To then go out and perform and then get the spoils of performing
Right.
well and win, you know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
get what comes with it. It's not just this. But social media, all you see is this. You don't see all the other stuff.
Right. And training looks like it's 30 seconds.
Right.
Because
And
it's a
that's-
reel. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
And all those things, I think social media is bad. I think there are some good from it, right? You stay in touch with family you normally don't get to stay in touch with, which to any of my family who watches this stuff, I know that I'm not the best because I get consumed with my life and my work and my day-to-day stuff. But that doesn't mean I don't think about any of you guys. I'm just busy. And when I mean busy, I mean like I'm busy. 3:30 in the morning I'm up. I don't leave the gym till 8 p.m. and I do that every day. Like literally every day. I don't have a staff of people doing things for me, so I'm here all day, every day. I don't not mean to contact people. I try to do better. So social media is good for that, right? It's cool because like we have relationships with Superbond and Pet and I've talked to Ernesto Hoos and Big Mike from Mike Shim, like
Right.
people I genuinely respect and admire. I've been able to have conversations with, like
Right.
CT Fletcher. I got to meet him. Like he was such a huge piece when I was building my gym for me to look at and like, wow, this guy's amazing. Then to actually meet him, go to his gym, have him come to my gym was like, what the? This
Yeah.
is crazy. So I think there are some perks to it, but I think there's more bad than good.
Right.
I think in the long term,
Yeah.
right? For the way most people tend to use it, like the affirmation, the things that girls feel they get from it, guys get from it. Like, oh, I don't got enough likes, I feel like shit. Or I got all these likes, I'm better than you. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I had a girl delete a picture she took of us while we were dating because it didn't get enough likes. And I remember being like, that was like the light at the end of the tunnel for me, kind of. I was like, I don't think this is, and it was fucked because it was, I don't know. I was like, we had been together for a minute, and I remember her doing that, and I wanted to be like, so our relationship is like honestly less important to you if it's not getting the type of views it needs to get.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And it was so like, because Instagram didn't come out until when I was in high school. You know what I mean? So the fact that I was now watching like someone I had been with for years, for years, make a decision on something that had just come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was like, damn, this is gonna be pretty gnarly. But like you said, it has good things and bad things. But I think with the mental health piece, a lot of our generation has like comparison syndrome like crazy, where like I was talking to my buddy's little brother, and he was like, fuck, I just don't have it all together. Like, I mean, like pretty like shook up, you know what I mean? And I had to be like, bro, you're 21. You're in college. Like, where do you think you need to be? Like, what are you comparing yourself to? Because it's probably not real. You know what I mean? And you also are growing up in this area, which is like, talk about not real. Like, we're in the most beautiful, fantastic, like, it's a great place, but this isn't how the world is. Like, Orange County is not how the world is. Southern Orange County in particular. You know what I mean? So I think people need to kind of open up their eyes, and kind of the lens needs to be widened a little bit and be like, everything on Instagram is someone's highlight reel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's for the most part, unless you do have some people that use it for all kinds of stuff. But that is something that I think genuinely really hurts the youth a little bit, because it's like you naturally as a 22 to 30-year-old feel like you don't have things going right for you, I think, kind of in general.
No, 100%.
Like, you're just like trying to figure out where you're at, and then you're looking and you're seeing like all this like stuff that's a lot of the times not real, but your perception of it is so false. Like, I know people who take pictures of cars that aren't even theirs.
Yeah.
Or like not take pictures of them, take pictures with the cars.
Yeah.
Like, you're posing in front of a McLaren like it's yours. Some people don't know that's not yours. You know what I mean? And now they're 21 too, and they're like, this kid's got a McLaren.
Yeah. What is he doing right that I'm not doing?
Yeah, and it's nothing.
I see all that.
You know what I mean? That's where it scares me.
So, back to the question. Yep, social media. Bye.
Yeah.
Horsepower has been the greatest gift outside of Muay Thai in my life. Because anytime I'm happy, you can hear it in the car. I'm cruising, music's bumping, and I'm vibing. If something's going wrong and I'm stressed out and you want to scream, my foot does it, because you'll know the gas pedal is down and it's roaring and the car's yelling. It's an extension of me. Some people will never understand that, but when my foot touches the pedal, it's like the most freeing experience for me. And anyone knows, like, we went and fed the homeless in LA, right? Skid Row, me and some friends. And, oh, we're going to take the van, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bet, but I'm taking my car. It's a nice car. It shouldn't be there. But you'll fight me tooth and nail for it. But I don't like being places without it because it's my safety net.
Right.
Right? Like, it's my Excalibur. You know what I mean? Like, if something goes wrong, I have it. If something goes right, I get to have fun in it. If it doesn't matter, good, bad, or indifferent, I always want it with me. I don't like being away from it. I'm such a control freak where that's my extension of control, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for me, horsepower's always been a factor. Even when I was dead broke, right? And my car was repossessed and I had to go find a car and they're like, all right, your budget's under 10 grand.
Right.
Most people would go, okay, what's the best economic, cheap on gas, blah, blah, blah. Me was, how much horsepower can I get per dollar?
Right.
That's how I based my buying decision.
Because you knew it was going to be your saving grace still.
You know what I mean? So, but that's such a huge piece is your mental, right? How do you feel? I work a lot. I bust my ass, right, for this place. And I love it. But working hard, you know what I mean? There's some nights where I leave and I'm like tired. I'm like, oh, man, what a day. And as soon as I get in my car and I press the button, boom!
And you see your dials whirring.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get a smile. And I remember years and years and years ago when I was a kid, I built my Mustang. We did a motor swap. We put a blower in it. And I remember I was going to the gas station. My dad finally had come in it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally, a standard Mustang, just so you guys know, has like 16-pound injectors. I mean, you know, how much fuel's going into the car. My car had 62 or 64-pound injectors just to give it enough fuel to get the blower and match which kind of power was coming out.
Right.
So I would literally floor it, and you could watch the needle move, like down, like using your gas.
Tank, yeah.
Like you don't really notice, but you would literally watch the needle change, how much fuel it was sucking. And my dad's like, Jesus, Frank. He said, you like this thing? He's like, I was literally looked at him, and I had the smile of like when you got to talk to Bon.
Yeah.
Like my smile was here to here, and I looked at him. He's like, okay, I get it. I was like, hey, every time I press that gas pedal, buddy, my mouth does this. It's literally the greatest thing.
People got to find that too, because if, like you said, there was a way to find that when everything went bad still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't find what that is that makes you feel like, okay, this is why I can still pull through, like, it makes life, it's got to be so much harder. For me right now, I get purpose out of having a purpose. You know what I mean? I get fueled up by that. Like, I'm like, okay, I have things I need to accomplish, I need to train for. And Muay Thai is that for me. Like, I put my gloves on and I'm stoked. You know
But
what
see,
I mean?
Muay Thai will always... So, like, if you were to flip that question and say, Frank, would you give up horsepower or Muay Thai?
Yeah, well, that'd be...
You'd give up horsepower, right?
Yeah, but you'd be so miserable, I would never ask you to do that.
But well, the only reason I say that is
was...
because with Muay Thai, I can have anything I want.
Right.
One of my friends, Aaron, told me, he's like, you know, Frank, Muay Thai is always giving, it never takes.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I didn't understand. I was like, bro, I fucking broke my foot. I've broke my hand, fractured knuckles. I've torn my calves. I've had my shin split open. Like, what do you mean it's never taking? He's like, yeah, you might be injured, but it taught you a lesson.
Right.
It gave you some insight. It gave you things to not do to become better.
Right.
And it's all perspective. It's how you choose to look at things, right? And Muay Thai gave me this gym.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a way to use my skill to make a living doing something I love versus sitting in a cubicle. I was in sales in corporate America my whole life. I ran multiple companies. I hated it.
Yeah.
Even though I made more money, I hated it. And you realize money is not the most important thing. Your mental is the most important thing, right? And Thai gave me all that stuff. It gave me friendships. I have you. I have my Mercedes. It gave me all that stuff. So if I gave up horsepower for a time to do this, pursuing this would allow me to have all those things back in my life. So I would definitely always choose Muay Thai because it gave me purpose. It gave me freedom. It let me become Dave Chappelle, your mom's a saint. When she said, sometimes you have to be the lion so that you can become the lamb you really are.
Yeah.
And that is 1,000% me. I'm a shy, soft kid. I cry at movies.
Same.
I'm extremely emotional when it comes to certain things, right? But if you do that as a man, you're seen as a little bitch. Right? So if you become a lion and you become a killer, no one questions you. Look at Tyson. That guy cries in every interview he does.
Right.
But he's making sense, and I understand it, which is why I love him so much and have so much respect, because go tell Mike Tyson that guy's a pussy.
Yeah.
No. You see the guy taunting him on the plane? I got a 3-piece and a soda.
Quick.
Fuck that. The dude's, because he's a lion. He's allowed to be emotional. He's allowed to do those things because he's earned it. So for me, Muay Thai gave me that. It let me be the lion and show and become something I was not. I knew I wasn't. I could pretend I am, like most guys pretend they are.
Right.
Right? They're never going to tell you they're not, because that's not a man thing to do.
Right.
But we all know 99% of men don't know how to fight or fucking do shit.
Yeah.
They're going to pretend. But learning how to become that and being controlled, right, and not needing to prove anything, that's the most manly thing you can do, right? I don't need to prove myself to anyone. I know what my skill set is. I know how confident I am. And because I'm that confidence allows me to wear pink in the ring. It allows me to cry at the movie. It allows me to do what I want because I don't care what the rest of the world thinks.
I know. I post all my, like, still pretty stuff and all, like, whatever on Instagram, and it's like, dude, if you guys are so tough that you can't call yourself pretty, like, or you know what I mean? It's like, dude, there's so much, like, false bravado in a sport that should be so tough, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Some people get it, and then I think a lot of the times you have a lot of actors, but you see that, like, I don't know, it's like almost they're not comfortable with where they're at yet quite, but it is less prevalent in this sport than I think with a lot of people. But you get, like, when I first joined Muay Thai, I thought I knew how to fight, you know what I mean? And then my first person I ever sparred was Ivan with 10-ounce fucking glory kickboxing lace-ups on. I had no mouthpiece. I think I had, like, a nose ring in. Horrible cardio. But if you had asked anyone who knew me, like, outside of people who, like, knew about fighting, they'd be like, yeah, Logan can fight. Why do people, I was an athlete for most of my life, but I didn't know how to actually fight, you know. But if you would have asked people, they would say yes. So when I came into the gym, I didn't think I was, by any means, I was such a fan of the sport already before I started that I didn't think I was going to be a world beater, like, on my first day. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I had no idea how much of the nail I would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people see movies like Warrior and stuff where it's like, oh, this guy just comes in and beats up a pro. That's not how, that does not happen in the real world. I hate to break it to you, that's just not that way. So I knew it wasn't going to be like that, but I just had no clue. And it also made me have to be introspective and be like, I can't walk around the street now knowing that, like, there's a dad bod having bald headed fucking monster out here who might just come up and beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, and if God forbid he starts kicking me, you know what I mean? Because I'll really not know what to do. So, I mean, that had to be, like, a real, like, okay, I am not where I need to be for myself to be happy. Not because I, like, think you have to know how to fight to be a man. I don't really believe that. I think you should know how to fight, and I think it'll help you a lot to be a man. But I don't think it defines you as one.
I don't think the fighting defines you as one, but I think what the martial arts does for you as far as your confidence, that will define you.
Yeah.
Confidence as a man, knowing that you can take care of yourself and take care of the person and people you love, is a huge piece.
Right.
And that being comfortable with yourself.
Right.
And learning all of those things that come with it, I think that is a huge piece. And that translates into being a man, being courteous, being nice.
Exactly.
Like, there's so many other things, like a ripple effect, right? You do this, and all these other things.
It's a massive boost to, like, for sure, because it's gonna, the character development that fighting will give you, or martial arts will give you, is insane if you find the right people to guide you along the way. I was very fortunate that social media is one of its benefits was I was able to vet the gyms that I was looking at potentially going to. You know what I mean? Because you can just end up anywhere, and that can be scary. But I landed somewhere where not only was the instructions good, but the culture's good. When it's time to bang, we definitely do. And even sometimes when it's not time to go hard, we go hard.
Yeah.
But there's no malice, like, at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ivan and I try to decapitate each other, and then we're literally giggling 4 seconds later. You know, so that was a definite thing that with fighting, it can be very, very, very positive for you, but you got to make sure you're getting the right instruction.
Yeah, no, facts, 100%. Totally agree. So, shameless plug. If you guys are looking for instruction, place to be, MMT Fitness, get here.
That's
Laguna
the
Miguel,
place.
got you. Well, touched on a couple of topics. Get to be a stud. You guys figure out these tips on how to date. Comment below. Let me know if they work for you or if they don't work for you. And that would be hilarious.
And, like, you still have to use your brain a little bit, boys. Like, I'm not saying just do that and, like, anything's going to happen for you. Like, come on. But I do think, like Frankie said, there's no such thing as punching out of your weight class from male or female. I just think it's going to be a lot easier. It might make it easier to start things if you're better looking, obviously. But, hey, being funny, paying attention, being intentional, and picking up on details will get you a lot further than you think.
Facts.
I feel like I have swung out of my weight class a couple times.
Bro, everything I swing at when I was dating was out of my weight class because two bigs don't make it right, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck what people say. I'm a big boy. I'm just letting you know. And we have preferences, right? Yeah. If they can say they have preferences, so can I. I'm not shaming nobody. I don't give a fuck. I'm a fat dude, too. I don't care. But everyone I'm swinging at out of my weight class.
Yeah. That's fine.
So that's, gotta talk, gotta listen.
Yeah, you have to.
All right, ladies and gents. So this will be one part, I'm sure, of many, with Logan when he's here, even if we do one via Zoom when he's gone, and then when he comes back, and I potentially beat his ass again, because I might have something to prove to him. So if you guys have any questions, put them down below for the next segment. If there's something you guys that I'm missing that you want me to ask the guys or during the interviews, let me know, because these are just topics and things that I'm just coming up with. The whole purpose of this podcast is to sit here and just shoot the shit, but live. I don't want to script anything because it's not genuine and real. I haven't asked him not one question out of this room that I would not. We literally just sat down and said, "Hey man, you want to go shoot?" He's like, "Yep, bet."
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and write a script and you tell me don't talk about this and don't do this. Let's just shoot the shit. That's the whole purpose, right? Because then you guys get genuine responses and answers and really see what people are like, myself included.
Right.
And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. Let's keep this thing fucking growing. Fridays, we're doing Friday movie reviews, so those videos drop Fridays. Mondays, I will be dropping the podcast, so the long format, and then we just got a different camera for the daily vlog, so we'll start vlogging daily, and we'll post those probably once a week for sure, if I can twice. But again, I'm teaching, coaching, mentoring, and doing my job here, so and editing all the content. So, so one-stop shop over here.
Yep.
So, but I am trying to get consistent content out. So long format podcast on Mondays, Friday movie reviews with Ginger, and then vlogs during the week. So again, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. Put the little bell notification on because that helps. Comment, that all helps, keeps the algorithm up. And yeah, the better and faster we do, the more I can invest into this place that you guys love, and we'll continue to grow. So again, thank you, love you, Logan, appreciate it. Good looks.
You.
Gang, gang.